Welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. I'm doing something you don't see very often anymore in a Minecraft Let's Play, right? I'm out here doing some caving. Usually we don't even need to go get any resources thanks to all our farms. I did find a little bit of diamond and lapis for dyes and whatnot. And also I made a friend. This Enderman has literally followed me around every cave. I'm not even kidding. I'm winding in and out of caves and I turn around and this fella is always right behind me. But anyway, I just went round the side of our farm. Yeah, that's a point. We are at our hostile and passive mob farm. Well, it's not hostile yet. That's what we're going to do in this episode, right? We're going to turn it into a hostile farm as well. It's the combo farm. It also does slimes, which are hostile mobs, I guess. But yes, I've just come to like a dead end where I've explored the entirety of this ravine, all the caves in the area, and I feel like I've all lit it up really well. Now you can kind of see the corner of the farm right here, and you might have remembered I mentioned that there was a third cave spider spawner. It is that one right here. And possibly what we could do is put water streams underneath it going in this direction, but I think it would probably be a little bit too fussy for us to take advantage of that. So I think our caving adventure is coming to an end here, and I'm in an entirely different part of the caving system, and the Enderman is still with me. It's kind of hilarious. Anyway, as I said, I think we're pretty much done. One of the things that's been very, very helpful is the beacon, because when you go out of range of the beacon, the icon in the top right disappears, and that's kind of like a hint that you're getting near the edge of the caves that you should be lighting up. Anyway, if you're not familiar with the principle, the reason we do all the caving and light it all up in this area is so there are no dark spaces for mobs to spawn in, and then that means they are more likely to spawn inside of our farm. Well, I've come down here to do some work on the next part of the farm, and I totally forgot the entire time in there this would have been working. Now, there have been other players on the server, but you know how it goes with these projects. I like to show you how the rates are, and it's good to see it's working. Lots of slime balls are coming through. So the big idea that I have for this farm is to build dark rooms off the side of it and then flush mobs down onto the wither roses, right? So you can see we've got this opening now. Just kind of occurs to me that maybe slimes can jump up into this space. If so, they'll get flushed back out again. This thing is 8 blocks along here. If I had a bucket of water to hand, which I actually do, we'll see that it goes all the way to the edge, and I timed that perfectly. But it means that we need to have a water source appear in this space and then travel out going all the way across. So there's several ways you can do this. You could have a row of dispensers with buckets of water in them. That usually causes some issues with timing, is because you've got a whole bunch of rows of them. If they don't all get done at exactly the same time, then it means that water sources will form with the ones next to them. So that's always a big pain. The other way that you can do it is with pistons in front of your water source. They're up, the water can't escape, they go down and the water comes out. But that actually eliminates a spawning space here. So to get the most out of this, I think the way to go is using these trapdoors that I've just thrown down on the ground. And I thought I'd be able to place them here. There we go. So we have them like this. They'll be waterlogged. Right, and then we open it down and all the water comes out. And we can do that in a row. Have some redstone above to control it. And then hit that again. And excellent. We could also do it like this, couldn't we? We could actually have the water suspended above and then open up. And then that means that mobs here at the very back, well, if they spawned here, they wouldn't actually get pushed out, as I am demonstrating. So maybe that's not such a great idea. I can think of another reason that wouldn't be so great as well, which is because we need to power all of this and we want to stack the floors up on top of each other. So this will be the first of many, I hope. Oh, and when it comes to building the other ones, you can see I've got a bit of a grind in front of me as we have lava lakes in the way. Always a pain in the bum, they are. So between the clip before the montage and now, nighttime has rolled around and I had a eureka moment. I kind of realised that in the daytime the light from above is going to seep into what were going to be the dark rooms right here. So now the dark rooms are going to start at this point where the light level is 6. So mobs will be able to spawn in all of this space right here. So essentially we've taken my idea and pushed it all back a bit. And there is some redstone that kind of runs around behind all of this. Aha, here it is. This is actually where the redstone is going to end. And I was thinking about how to lay it out. And the distance that we had to cover was 16 blocks. So I figured, well, redstone can stretch as far as 15, and then the very first thing that gets powered is a block, and that can go into the repeater. So if we power it in from this direction, it'll power every single repeater. So as you might suspect, I've kind of cleared out a path going around the back of these rooms. These are the outsides of them. I've also made sure that all the sides are covered with stone. I didn't really want to focus on decorating too much with this project, but I did want to make it look clean. And so again, here we have the same setup. There'll be a redstone line coming through here, and then I'll have to build some sort of circuit that will turn this on and off from the beginning, which is going to be over at this end, using a daylight sensor. So it only activates... No, wait a minute. Why would it need a daylight sensor? It can activate around the clock. Ah, you see, this is a hungover idea in my... Oh, I look all squashed up, don't I? I've got a hungover idea in my mind. You see, when I first realised that this wouldn't work in the daytime, I figured we would make a daylight sensor to control some redstone and make it activate at night time. Anyway, let's try and fly. Oh, I've done it again. I haven't got my lighter on. Ender pearl, emergency ender pearl. So because of the changes I've made there, these bits that we were digging downwards are now kind of redundant. You may have been thinking, why are you digging downwards over here? Well, it's the same principle as what we've got going on here, which is the lower down in the world there is, with no blocks above, then the better the spawn rates are. But we now don't need to do this bit right here. In fact, everything that we've dug down is where the water is. So now what I've got to do is come over here and extend this like another 8 blocks, create a section, and then dig that all the way down. And the lower down we go, the faster those rates will be in those dark rooms. So this is all I can do right now. I've just kind of put these in the correct place, and I've got the camera here to double check that I've done that. These blocks right here are 16 across and 7 wide, and you can see all the blocks have been removed above them. So what we'll do over time now is just dig them down to the roof of the farm that we've been building at the bottom. But I was thinking the entire time I was up there digging, night went past a couple of times, I really should have had the redstone done because this thing could be running already. So that's the next step. Then I'm going to be able to AFK for a while, and we'll get to see how this thing is performing. As you can see from this view, the redstone line has been put in place. On this side it actually goes all the way around, and I'm just standing over the side here with a redstone torch which is about to power this. And that should work. Is it the unpowering it? Aha, there we go. So unpowered does that. That's knocked out all of the torches now. And then the water will get removed. And now it's dark in there. So mobs would technically be able to spawn, but I'm probably too close. Okay, that's good. So I had an idea for a redstone circuit that could be really quite easy. I hope that this works. It's just an idea in my mind at this point. So if we had 2 of these classic comparator decay clocks, and then on one side it had a redstone torch pointing into the other one to keep that one powered, could I then flip that back round to the other side? I guess it would just be a regular connection. I might not actually want to use a redstone repeater for this, but we will for now. And then this side's going to slowly decay and then turn off the other side, right? And then that decays, and then it turns back on again. Yeah, excellent. No, I'm not sure. I think the output needs to come from this repeater here. In fact, let's just go straight up onto this, as if it were the main input. And I think this is going to create an equal amount of on and off time. It looks like that's what it's going to do. So you see how this one has a block here and 3 pieces of redstone? This one has 4. That means this one's actually going to decay slightly quicker. So if I did that, then I believe they are equal. And what I might want to do is make it so that each side has 6 comparators, or maybe 1 less bit of redstone. Like I could put a block there. Oh, wow, okay. And a block there, I believe. It actually needs 2 of them side by side, I guess. I've now modified this redstone circuit so it's more symmetrical, and I believe with the way it's laid out, it's pretty much equal off and on time for the output, which I am standing next to. But I've been looking at this thing in action, and I've been thinking, actually what I want to see happen is this have more time for the mobs to spawn in. So that means we want to make the signal when it's on, yeah, that's the one, we want it to stay on for longer than it is off. And I think this circuit can do the job. Okay, I've done it. Adding in these extra comparators here does the trick. But the thing is, it's the wrong way around. So if we invert our output, then it will be the correct way around for our needs. I'm also going to try it with a block here. Didn't we do that a moment ago? Will this work? Will it be even slower to decay now? Okay, no, that didn't work. So I've taken what we had a moment ago and I've just compacted it a little bit, squeezing everything side by side and adding in 2 extra comparators over here. I think that's pretty much the best we can make that for now. I would like it if the decay here was a little bit longer, so if I choose to do so I might come back and redo this at some point, but for now it's done. Let me go stick my head in here and see this thing. Oh look, we're watching it work right now. We've got some skeletons that have spawned and then been pushed over. Okay, so the water disappeared. Now it shouldn't reappear for quite some time. And there goes the water. Right, and it'll only stay here for a little bit. So if I imagine I'm a mob getting pushed along, I only come this far, but then again I've got this on, and also the player I think gets pushed less the closer to the edge they are. But that's not true of entities. Anyway, I think it's enough water for it to come over. What I need to do is observe it in action. Okay, we have 2 creepers, and one of them is right over at the edge there. Perfect for a test. I hope this is enough. Oh, look at that. Perfect timing. Well, that's worked out really, really well, hasn't it? Well, I guess this means I can go for my AFK session now. This room might be a little bit too close to one of the spawning rooms, or possibly multiple ones, but don't really have time to mess around with that now. I've got an opportunity to AFK for a while, so we'll come back and see how it does. So if it wasn't obvious, that time-lapse has sort of been edited together, so what you saw wasn't consecutive, right? I tried to show some of the interesting bits where the mobs were doing different things. So a couple of observations. One is that a mob fighting the current won't get swept all the way down, so they can actually resist and stay on the platform again, but usually they get swept off the next time around. Also, we saw some spiders that were able to climb up into this top corner and then stay there for ages as well, so that's an issue. I'm not sure how we're going to solve that. We might have another issue on our hands. Where's my sword? It's over here. It's not where it usually is. If we look upwards, I might have distracted them. Nope, look, you can see that they are on top of the spawners. So this is a classic thing you have to do with those types of spawners, is put blocks on top of them. Cool, you are making a lot of noise. You've got to put blocks on top of them so that they don't get caught up there, and that actually slows down the rates from these two. Both of them would have been active, by the way, when I was in my little AFK room. So all we've got left now is the big old grind of digging down to just above these blocks right here. That'll increase the spawning rate on these platforms. And I don't really have too many other ideas on how to include more mob-related stuff to this, but I have been rattling my brain trying to think of something. Glass blocks are on top of the spider spawners, and the beacon will stay here until we know we absolutely want to remove it, because obviously it's interfering as well. Anyway, I was AFK for about an hour, and if we go down here you can see the animal spawning is kind of slow. I've got a feeling I might need to do another double check, because I've been the only person online, so those rates could pick up, and in general it's not terribly fast, but we'll find out more once we've dug down on top of those spawn rooms. So that part of the project ain't going to take place this episode. We've been over there for a fair amount of time, and I feel like coming back to the main Hermitcraft Island and working on something over here, actually wrapping up and finishing a project. But before we do any of that, I want to hop through into the shopping area. As far as I know, there are no new shops since 1.14, with the exception of Scar's crossbow shop up the top there. That's amazing, by the way. Beautiful build. I think I checked it out on a live stream and not in one of my episodes. So if you haven't seen it, go and check out Scar's video on it. You know he's a fantastic builder. Anyway, I thought I'd do a diamond check because I know that one of our shops is surprisingly still selling. So I'm going to run around, see how many diamonds we've made since the last time we checked. Those bone blocks, they always sell 10 diamonds from over here. And that is actually it. I believe it was last episode we came over here to pinch some wool, and I learned that we were still making sales over here. Now, I had not expected that to be so, because wool is now very easy to come by, because you can fully automate it, which is something we're going to have to do to our farm, or possibly even build a new farm altogether at some point. But there you go, that's the amount of diamonds for this round. So 112 added to our season total is 1,713 diamonds just from the shops alone. So it must have been months ago that we came over here and we brought an entire shulker box worth of golden carrots from Impulse out of the curiosity of seeing how long it would last, and it lasted for absolutely ages. And then I thought, why don't we do a little experiment? Let's see how good this suspicious stew is. And you know what? It is pretty much the best food in the game in terms of healing up your hearts and hunger because of the saturation effect. But really, you've got to use it like a potion of instant health or a golden apple. It's something that you use when you're low on health or very low on hunger and you need to get it back up quickly. If this thing's stacked though, it would be unstoppable as a food source. It really would. Anyway, over here you will see that Impulse has made himself a ton of diamonds, but there are no carrots for sale. And not even the regular carrots are for sale in here. I think there were probably item frames on here once on this side that have now disappeared, along with a whole bunch of villagers that have vanished. What update this happened, I'm not entirely sure. I think Impulse has got a plan to bring new ones over here, but look, the mending villager is gone. So I don't have a carrot farm, so I can't just buy out some gold and craft my own. I'll have to shoot Impulse a message and see if I can get myself a shulker box worth again. Now, there was a reason that I held on to all this obsidian in my inventory. It's because I've accidentally broken my ender chests one too many times. So now we're going to make another 16 of them, and I'm going to leave them in here, so if ever I break one again I can travel to an ender chest and pick one back up again. Also, look at all the junk that I'm accumulating around here. Oh, I actually need this for where we're going next, so I'm going to pick up that chest. But yes, I need to do another good sort. I just, keep accumulating stuff. Also, look at all this dirt and grass over here. It's ridiculous. I've just been letting the stuff despawn now, because I bring back shulker box after shulker box, and I don't even know what to do with it all. What I want to finish this episode is this project. Sometimes with these towers, things linger for too long. We got the top, we've got the bottom, and you know what? I got time to figure this out. We need to build an entrance. And down here, I thought ahead a little bit. When I put the scaffolding in place, I made sure I had a block that I wanted to keep underneath it, you know. So that will be what will be in that room. And anyway, we've got to build the roof for this thing, but also I want to make a little bit of a modification. Now that I've had the time to let the design settle in, I feel like these mid-sections here that I'm sort of putting myself in the way of as I try and point, these bits, they need a little something else. And can we actually fly? Oh my goodness me. We can fly straight into this gap. Well, if I had the blocks that we needed, this would have been perfect. So I'll go get those blocks, and then we'll come back and we'll swim around like this and place them where they need to be placed. Okay, yes! Wow, that was a sweet landing. Also, this camera account is really going to help me make sure I put this in the right place. I'm not sure if I can hold down shift and go off the edge. We'll experiment and find out later. So what I want to do is just have that block where there is the ledge. And I think I put that in the right place. Oh my goodness me, this is really tricky. Okay, I'm going to put that one there. We're going to come all the way to the corner's nice and easy because I can really clearly see where I'm supposed to place these. This is so strange. And doing a little experiment, I can actually hold shift and not fall off the edge. Okay, that's really good. Now it makes looking where I need to place the blocks really easy. That actually makes a bit more sense if you're here with me in first person. So yeah, look, I'm holding down shift. I can run over the edge here and see where the block needs to go. So it works, going all the way upwards. We got all of those blocks placed in, and then the top has been finished. There it is. There's now this extra little resting point up the top here. I put carpet on a lot of this stuff here, as you can see, all over the top and down the sides there, but mobs can actually spawn in that space. And if we go into the side of this room, you'll see that I put carpet on the ground so they can't spawn in here. So if you, the player, come all the way up to the top, you should be relatively safe. And then I made the thing here a little bit bigger just because it looked better that way. So that is the top of our farm, skyscraper, whatever you want to call it, thing done. And now we've got to work on the entrance at the bottom. So the chest monsters have returned. I thought it was a simple project, but oh no, we got all of these. Also, is there some string in one of these chests? I think there is string in here. I can see that there is string in here. We might use this because our entrance is really simple. You walk in, there's some barrels. I think I might store some bamboo in here, you know. And then if we look around this room, you'll see that we got these at different heights. And what we've learned is that if they grow all the way to the top, they generally have one of these, although these have actually got two. I've kind of lost track of what we've done in here. But this one over here, for example, had a block on top of it, like that one. And then when it grew up to the next level, it had two of these leafy ones. So that is like that. Let's put some string there and keep that one a little bit lower. And then we'll put string there so that one can only grow that tall. Basically, we want a little bit of variation. So maybe this one not actually having any leaves might look kind of cool. And this one over here, I think, as well will go. So we're using the string to stop them growing any further is the idea. Did I put string there? I did. And that's the entrance. Nice and simple, right? Very light, very easy on the eyes. And that's this project finished. So, my friends, I spoke to Impulse, and he's stocked up the carrot shop with just enough for us to fill up our golden carrot box again. We did have a discount last time, but do you know what? I don't care. I want all of these, and I'm going to take all of them. I'm going to put them in here. But that is actually where we are going to be wrapping up this episode. So if you have enjoyed it, then please do leave a like. As always, thanks for that. It supports the channel. I hope you've been enjoying the Hermitcraft episodes. They've been a lot of fun to record and stream. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge for all the people watching on the stream right now. Yeah, that's the end of the episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in another one. Bye-bye.